Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Says like a Facebook bandwidth. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Share a link on Facebook, IG, everything. All of them are logged in. So close here. Let's say the live workshop is on. Join us on YouTube Live. That's it. Caption. Did you say this is the caption? I'm there to choose it. Put the link on Facebook for YouTube.
Like a normal status.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, guys. Let me apologize. I'm sure as most of you, if you're familiar with productions, shoots, so apologies for that. But we're now set up. We're starting the workshop right now officially. So from all of us here at Cameras Africa, thank you for attending. Thank you for making the time to be here with us today. I'm guessing everyone here is here because you're either interested in live streaming and wireless video transmission, yes? Okay, so how many of us here are familiar with live streaming, basic live streaming? Camera, video capture card, US webcam utility, and stuff like that? Is there any familiar with that? You're familiar with it? Okay, as a house of worship, freelance, production studio, could you tell me a bit more about it? We can start here. Freelance. So usually offer live streaming as a service. Okay. Up on you, I saw some hands. Production studio. So that's multicam live streaming to various platforms. Okay. Also saw. Freelance. Also, guys, this is also a place ya network in case one equipment chane ya kuanza ku live stream kama kuna wasi hapa unaweza network. So msisahau kusema jina. Unahitaji mic? Okay. Okay, okay. Which equipments do you use? Is it a camera, US webcam utility interface, vitu kama hizo? The Mini Pro or the YOLO box? The Pro. Okay, nice, okay.
So basically, most of the things I do is
Okay, okay. And I saw a hand E side ingine? Yeah, Okay. Okay, so at least we have a few people who are conversant with live streaming. So the whole point of today's workshop is simple. Story live streaming is, let me say, one of the gifts of the modern digital age of connection everywhere and anywhere. The benefit of live streaming, especially when you're looking at it from a business point of view, from an entrepreneurship point of view, a house of worship, a freelancer, production studio, is that when you're live streaming, be it to any platform that you live stream to, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whichever, you are free to live stream and broadcast your live stream to the entire world. So it doesn't have limitations, just signal or everything else. It's literally, if you can go live on YouTube or Instagram or any of these platforms, you're not just live streaming to you or your friends. That live stream is open to the entire world where people have access to those platforms. And it is not, it's regulated, but it's not like if you decide to start your own TV station in Kenya, you have to go get licenses and a million other things that are just unnecessary. And to a certain extent, the format of watching TV is slowing down. Most of us consume our content online, on a laptop or a phone, and all of these platforms, right? So that's where the company YoloLiv comes in. So YoloLiv specifically are, let me call it, the modern day live stream experts. So the thing is with YoloLiv is they have 3 primary products, actually 4. The last one we're going to be introducing to the market as of today. The first item that they have is the YOLO Box Mini, which is this guy right here. So this is the YOLO Box Mini, and this is literally the smallest, cheapest, and lightest live streaming, let me call it the live streaming solution that you can currently get on the market. So this one is designed for 1 HDMI input, and it allows you to multi-stream to various platforms. This is the YOLO box. This should be the YOLO box. I call it the prime or the base, but this is just the YOLO box that sits in between the YOLO box mini and the YOLO box Pro. This one, I'd call it like, let's say, mid-range. It has 2 HDMI inputs. Same deal. You connect your platforms, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, and the like, and you're ready to stream. But this one is for 2 cameras. And finally, we have this one, which is the YoloLiv Instream. So this is, let me call it the latest and greatest from YoloBox. This is technically an item that we will be launching today, as of today, that will be available in the market. Now, the reason for the YoloLiv Instream is, yes, it also has 1 HDMI input. 2 HDMI inputs. But the reason behind the YoloLiv Instream is that because all of these platforms are running on Android, the YoloLiv Instream is dedicated specifically for vertical live video streaming for TikTok and Instagram. Because on these two, having to set up a TikTok or an Instagram to go live can be tricky. A lot of times you might need to either use extra software or buy dedicated software in order for you to set like a custom RTMP and everything else to stream on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok. So this specific machine is dedicated for those 2 platforms. It's built on Android and it's designed for Instagram and TikTok live streaming. And then finally we have this guy right here, which is the YoloBox Pro, the biggest and, in my opinion, one of the best live streaming tech you can currently get on the market. So the benefit of the YoloBox Pro is that this one has 3 HDMI inputs. It has a dedicated SD card slot that you can either use as a source, if, like, let's say you have a PowerPoint like this and everything, if you have a video, if you have a picture, if you have a PDF, anything, that SD card slot is designed for that. And it's also designed for recording. So besides just live streaming, the YoloBox Pro can also be used in multicam video productions. So that means that still as we're in the live, you can have your SD card. In here, you have your camera inputs. And then instead of having to record for 3 cameras, we use Adobe Premiere Pro, and then you start editing in a multicam, you can literally do that on set, on location, from this, and record all of that on 1 SD card, meaning that when it comes to now post-production, you are sorted. You don't have to start multicam editing. It's already here. Now, this one also has a HDMI output, so should you want to output it onto another monitor, onto a screen, it also allows for that. And it also has mic inputs. Actually, all of them have mic inputs. It also has an Ethernet port for streaming as well. And it also has a 4G, let me call it a SIM tray. So if you don't use Wi-Fi, if you prefer to use, let's say, for example, a Safaricom line and live stream directly from that, you can also do that from here. So there are no limitations to live streaming when it comes to the YoloBox Pro. And finally, we have the YoloBox Verticam PTZ camera. Now, this is, again, another item that we're launching today. This is meant to be used hand in hand with the YoloBox Instream, but of course, you can use it for other purposes. And what this is, let me say, number one, the cheapest and easiest to use PTZ camera that you can currently get on the market. And the benefit of this is it's already set up to shoot and output video in a vertical video format. So it's literally just designed for Instagram, TikTok. So for any individual that has a lot of interactions online, a lot of interactions live on platforms such as TikTok and Instagram, this PTZ camera is designed for you. And because it's a PTZ camera, of course, it also comes with its own controller. So should you need to control the camera itself, change the settings, change where it's pointing, all of those things, it's also integrated right here. So with that being said, I've introduced you to the YoloBox. Now I'm also going to introduce you to the second part of our workshop, which is live video transmission. So this is where Hollyland comes in. Anyone here conversant with Hollyland? You conversant with it? The Mars 300, the Mars 400, and the like? Okay. So Hollyland are, let me say, partners to the YoloLiv team. In that, Hollyland creates these things right here. These are wireless video transmission kits. So this is the Hollyland Mars 400S Pro. This one has a range of 400 feet, which is in meters, is about 125 meters, line of sight. It allows for both SDI and HDMI inputs into this one, and it uses the Sony NPF 750 and above batteries to power it. Now, where this comes in is that the whole topic of live streaming or having multi-camera setups and everything becomes very cumbersome when you have to start dealing with cables. And in the day we live in, if it can be wirelessly transmitted, it should be. So what these actually stop to do is, if, like right now for the example what we're doing today, there is no cable running from him to this camera, because what he's using there is the other smaller version of this, which is the Hollyland Mars 300S Pro, range of 300 feet, takes in only HDMI input and HDMI output. And we also have another one, which we currently don't have the unit for, which is the Hollyland Mars 4K and the Hollyland Mars C1. Now, those ones, the added advantage of the Mars 4K is that it allows you to transmit 4K video. For the Mars 300 and the Mars 400, they allow you to transmit HDMI video either via SDI or via HDMI. Until there, any questions? Anything that you guys would like clarification on the items, anything else, anything? Okay, so we proceed. So that's where Hollyland comes in. So what people have been doing is they've been setting these up hand in hand, in that whenever you're doing your live streams and the like, less cables means less work for you setting up, and also means significantly an easier time when it comes to diagnosis and all of these things. And the added benefit of these is that Hollyland not only makes these wireless video transmissions for large, let me say, setups for whereby you have multiple people, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people working on a set, on an event in a studio, to have things running and shooting and everything. That's where the Hollyland CS6 and the Hollyland CS8 talkback systems come in. We don't have them currently with the demo units, but it's something like this. And what these serve to do is, if you're doing a multicam production, if you're at a production studio, if you're at a broadcast studio, and Mr. Director needs to have a conversation with camera A, camera B, or camera C, that's what they're dedicated for. So they're basically open channel UHF systems that allow one-on-one communication between a director, between the producer, between anyone, and the rest of the crew, without having PM to SIM and all of these things. It's literally a talkback system for an integrated crew. So that's where the Hollyland Solidcom C1 Pro, the CS6, and the CS8 come in. Up until there, any questions, inquiries? Okay, so then we can proceed.
I have a question.
Yes.
YoloLiv Pro.
Yes.
So for those who prefer video production, it can be used to record music, like in terms of if you have 3 cameras, it's easy.
Yes, it is. Of course, these ones are designed for video, so not audio. But in terms of audio, it is not limited, because you can either have it inputting audio through either camera 1, 2, or 3, in the same way you would with a live mixer, like a Blackmagic. So you can either choose to input the audio coming from the camera itself or from a camera itself, or you can have the audio inputs coming into the YoloBox Pro via its dedicated 3.5 mic ports. So that's one of the key advantages of these units, is that if you're doing a multi-cam setup, camera 1, 2, and 3 are not limited. You won't have to start stressing, Mambo, you're going to dump the footage in with the editor and all of these things. You literally have it already mixed by you as an individual, so you get to choose camera 1, 2, and 3, and which one you want to switch to, and then all of that will already be recorded onto the SD card that you put in the YoloBox Pro. So until there, any questions, inquiries, anything? Yes?
Just a question.
Yes.
Here, for the Solidcom,
Yes.
next level talk.
Yes.
At times when you're doing live, using our talk,
Yes.
there's usually some signal interference, especially if I'm here telling camera 1 do A or pan left, right. At times there's interference with the transmission.
Radio signals and everything. Yes.
The person who's talking. Do I get to experience this?
No, so one of the key advantages of the Hollyland Solidcom C1s is, I think you're talking about the old rudimentary talkback systems, like the one that's just a walkie-talkie bus. So now this one removes and annihilates all that completely. What this one is, it has its own stationary, like let me say the main head unit, whereby it will set up its own UHF frequency. It's the same way you would set up your own UHF frequency if you're using wireless microphones. So mic A, mic B. If there's any interference from either signal interference from any point, you can tweak it and change it specifically so that all of the lines that are coming in have no signal interference. So it gives you that control. So should you have any interference from a separate signal source, you can tweak it, you can change it. It will retain connection to the individual, but it will also open up that channel so that you don't have any interference with your talkback system. So it allows you to edit and change depending on your settings. Okay, so,
The battery lives on the YoloBox are the same or
oh no, significantly different. The YoloBox Pro has the highest battery capacity. It should be, I will confirm that in a few minutes, but I know for a fact the YoloBox Pro has the highest battery capacity. The YoloBox Base, which is the second one, has the, let me say, mid-range amount of battery capacity, and the YoloBox Mini has the lowest battery capacity. Yes. Any other questions, inquiries? Yes.
And I saw the YoloBox Pro has a, like, because it's using a Type-C.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is it possible to use a power bank?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Like, record the same thing?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the key advantages of all of these units, of course, not just using Type-C, is that yes, kama battery yake it's low ama inaenda kuisha, yes, you can power it separately or externally using a power bank. Okay. So since we've gotten to this point, I would like to request that should any of you want to come here and have a hands-on feel of these units, see how they are, see how they look, see the ports, I'd like to invite you guys to come through and look at them. I know we're going to have an interactive session but for now, I'd like, should anyone want to like get a more hands-on feel of the units themselves, you can come through and check them out right here, right now. Okay? Awesome. So you're free to come through. Yeah. Okay. So, Instream, YoloBox. So is the YoloBox Pro, and that is the PTZ camera. So yeah. So everyone, come through. I'm using.
Why is the stream so choppy? Why is the stream choppy?
Bandit, you guys have posted on the platforms.
Yeah. But there's nobody who will be watching this.
On Instagram, you can stream on Instagram by this. You have to use Instream. You share the link. Yes. You share the link. Bandit, I'm not like a Facebook. Twitter, YouTube, like a Facebook. You can switch to Facebook.
The reason I think YouTube quality is better.
No apologies. Your camera, unless it was bigger, the push it might. You can have batteries. Don't even ask. That's the last thing I thought about. Go to your speaker, do it happen then. Share handful.
I don't use this one to stream instead.
Which one? No. That one is still providing the stream for the video.
You can stream it out on the speaker.
Yes. Urashpesimu kutoka hiki naka. Share ufanye interactions now, see, please. And give them inquiries. Set up here. Use Facebook. Those guys working with you, though. was nice working with you.